Okay, so I was gonna originally film this like right when the song came out, but I but I didn't know this music video was gonna have like actual studio footage and stuff. I wasn't expecting that, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna like actually cry really hard to this." So I'm gonna just film it on another day. So I'm gonna do it today. But Linkin Park was like the first band I ever got into when I was like 6 or something. It was whenever I heard New Divide on the radio for the first time. I heard In the End before that, but after I heard New Divide, I was really hooked. That was like, I think I was like 7 at the time. But yeah, them and like Muse were my first two bands that I really got into. But Linkin Park was like on another level. Like in 2014, when I finally got a phone that could like I could go on YouTube and stuff like all the time on like a phone. I had a laptop I think before that, but once I got a phone, I had listened to like their whole discography and everything, basically every day. Like when I went to school, I would literally play everything that they ever came out with, which I think was up till the Hunting Party at the time. One More Light wasn't out yet. But I listened to everything that they had on Spotify every single day. So I literally know every single album. I could tell you I haven't listened to them much in the last few years, but even though I haven't like listened to their whole discography or anything in like years, I could definitely like give you the track list for every album. I guarantee you that, and that includes like Recharged and Reanimation and Collision Course and even like demos that they had on YouTube. Most of the demos that came out on the Hybrid Theory Deluxe I have already heard. So when Lost came out, which is a demo that I actually hadn't heard before, I did a video on that and I cried, and I said I was gonna do the Meteora Deluxe when it came out, but I ended up not doing it. But I'm gonna do this one because I didn't think we were gonna be getting any One More Light demos for like years. And their studio footage as well, which is, I love their studio footage. If any of you haven't seen the LPTV videos that they have on their Linkin Park YouTube channel, you definitely need to watch those because they have studio footage for every album, I think Minutes to Midnight onwards. But it's so interesting, especially Thousand Suns, which is my favorite album. Listening to their discography every day for like months. And yeah, Thousand Suns is my favorite. And I've had equal time with every album. Like I've probably heard every album at least 50 times in my life. Like dude, 8th grade, freshman year was crazy. And yeah, Thousand Suns is my favorite. Let me know what your favorite is down below because everyone's is different. But One More Light is the first album that they came out with where I was like a super big fan of them and I knew every song by them. So it's a very nostalgic time for me. I think it was like the end of freshman year. Yeah, right before summer it was coming out, and I remember when Heavy came out. I loved Heavy at the time. I still do, especially the music video. It's one of my favorite music videos from them. But people absolutely hated this album when it was coming out. I understand why, but at the same time, every Linkin Park album is completely different. Like every single one is completely different. They try something completely new every single time. Just wait for the next album. You know, they're doing something experimental. They're just kind of stripping everything back and doing a simple pop album, which they've never done before. They've always had pop in their music though, like especially in the choruses. And I liked it just because it was Linkin Park and the songs weren't bad at all. It's just the instrumentals are pop instead of very electronic rock driven stuff. But it's like people forget that the previous album, the one right before One More Light, is their heaviest album they ever made. And it came out only a couple years before One More Light. And One More Light is only 10 songs, and it's like the shortest album they ever did. It's basically like a weird EP. I don't know. It's very different. It's different from anything they ever made, but I guarantee you if they made an album after, it would sound absolutely nothing like One More Light. So it really sucked at the time seeing all the comments of people trashing them and people like throwing bottles on stage and stuff when they were performing just because they were still playing heavy songs like live. Sorry for ranting. It's just one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. And I kind of wanted to give you guys a backstory on my experience with the band. I'm sure a lot of people reacting to this have not heard their whole discography endless times, you know what I mean? But I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this video have. So, yeah, just let me know your favorite album down below. Let's start some arguments. But anyway, I heard the small clip that they uploaded to Instagram to kind of tease this song, and it sounds really good. It doesn't sound like a demo, like a hard demo at all. It sounds like a completely produced song. I'm not sure why it didn't get on One More Light. Maybe we'll find out hearing the whole thing. I don't know. But let's find out, and let's also try to make it past the first 3 seconds of this music video. Make sure to subscribe as well. I usually do like heavier stuff, metalcore, progressive stuff on the channel, but I don't know. You might find something you like. I'm usually happier as well. I just know what I'm about to watch.
Tell me the words I've forgotten, what we were fighting for.
I just miss seeing them. It's weird. I haven't seen them in years, like
We're
together in a
pulling
room and
apart
stuff.
for no
Like a video of them.
reason. We're pulling a trigger in a useless war.
So it feels like
And
I'm
if we
in
come back, you go into
freshman
the
year again.
fire.
Oh wow.
I'll find you out on the horizon. We'll never be enemies. Falling apart for no reason. We're pulling a trigger in a useless war. Fire, 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 fire.
Ooh. Oh, ignore that. So what am I doing here? Fuck. Linkin Park. Oh my god. Lincoln. Shit. I'm just gonna say those are probably some of the best vocals out of the One More Light era that I've heard. I don't know why they would leave that off the album. I guess I'm kind of glad they did because I love getting new songs from them, anything. Yeah, it definitely would have fit on the album perfectly. Like, it kind of reminded me of Halfway Right a little bit, but he really got into his full voice in that song. And you don't really get that very much on this album. Yeah, I loved the chorus melody. I think it was really beautiful. It kind of sounded like the other band that Chester started, Dead by Sunrise. It kind of sounded like something that would be on that album. But I feel like it would have perfectly just fit into this album here. Yeah, I'm really happy that that exists and that they shared it with us. It makes me wonder what else they have that they're not sharing. I know that they must have so many demos. Like, give me all the footage, all the demos. I need them, even if they're like 3 seconds long. Give them to me. Because they've done a 20th anniversary for 2 albums now. I don't know if that's going to continue on. Like, am I going to be waiting until 2034 for the Hunting Party Deluxe? That's all I want to know, dude. But yeah, I'm just really happy that that exists, and I was trying really hard not to cry for a while. Just seeing videos of Chester and Mike being happy together is just... that's enough to make me cry, like, no matter what, man. So this, of course, is a song that is going to be on the Linkin Park Paper Cuts singles collection that they're coming out with, which is really cool. But I decided to make this little playlist here of what I personally would put, and it's 22 songs. I think the official one is 20 songs. So it has 2 more songs. But I feel like this is a really good list and a really good order of their top singles. And in the official collection, they didn't put any The Hunting Party, and they only put Waiting for the End off of 1,000 Suns. It was mostly their first 2 albums, which is my favorite Linkin Park song, by the way, is Waiting for the End. But if you're interested in this and saving it to your Spotify, I'm going to put a link to it in the description, so definitely check that out. I wish this song was longer. That's the only thing. Like, it's less than 3 minutes long. This was a really, really short album, and I know that they must have had some crazy demos that sound nothing like One More Light, and I'm sure they made some instrumentals with no lyrics. I'm sure they made some things that they could have used as interludes. Like, Friendly Fire just starts, his vocals just start the song, right? Like, they could have put some synth at the beginning or something to, like, lead into it, or some sounds that they made that wouldn't work in a full song but would work cool in an intro. I don't know. Those are just things that I'm used to Linkin Park doing in all of their albums. And yeah, this One More Light was very, very different. But I still love it, and I think this song is a great addition, especially vocally. It's like an all Chester song, all Chester's vocals. And I love that he went into his full voice, because we didn't get much of that on One More Light. I'm not sure why. His vocals were very different on One More Light. The only reason I can think is that there was a noticeable difference in his vocals from, like, after the Living Things tour, like 2013, because Living Things, his vocals were, like, in his prime, basically. I think there was, like, an insane amount of touring that was done in, like, 2012, 2013, but there's a noticeable difference between Living Things and the Hunting Party vocally. Just he had a lot more rasp in his voice. It sounded a little bit more strained, which is totally normal, and it still sounded good in my opinion. I love the Hunting Party. It's one of my favorites. A lot of people hate on that album because they think it's like trying to be Hybrid Theory. I see that said all the time, and I'm like, nothing about the Hunting Party is nu metal in any way, shape, or form. Really, what the Hunting Party sounds like is taking those, like, heavy metal driven songs from Minutes to Midnight, like Given Up and No More Sorrow and QWERTY, and blending those with the Living Things electronic rock sound. That's really what that is. It sounds nothing like Meteora or fucking Hybrid Theory at all. But anyway, again, the only thing I can think of is that they kind of just wanted to make a shorter album with newer material that may not be as hard on Chester's voice as, you know, the everything else in their entire discography. Like, people were so upset that there was no screaming on the album. I'm like, I don't care that there's no screaming on the album. I love his vocals. I love the vocals on One More Light. I just feel like the instrumentals were the only things that were lacking. But anyway, I've ranted for like 45 minutes now, so I'm gonna have to edit a lot of this shit out. But anyway, definitely let me know what you thought of this song down below. Really emotional. I'll probably get sad every time I hear it, but I really want to listen to it again because I really love that that melody in the chorus. I love that. But yeah, definitely some of my favorite vocals out of the One More Light era. And yeah, that's basically it. Take it easy. Oh yeah, definitely subscribe and take it easy.